on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in the green. We finally saw a little bit of life in Bitcoin after going sideways for how long? Finally, this morning, we did try to almost get up to the $9,300 level. We did get currently rejected at the time of making this video, but it does look like we did get a good amount of volume on that small move. So was that enough for the bulls to have control? Well, I want to talk about that today. Aside from just the price action, I also want to go into the fact that we have massive participation from retail investors, not just institutional. In fact, 1.9 million citizens in the UK actually said that they do own cryptocurrency. Also want to talk about some big news. We have a Bitcoin ETP listed on Europe's third largest exchange. So I want to talk about what that means for cryptocurrency, as well as the fact that now we do have lawyers accepting cryptocurrency in Washington, D.C. All of that ahead. We did actually have the end of the month close for Bitcoin, and currently at the time of making this video, we have Bitcoin futures above the $9,300 level. Could be totally different by the time you watch, but we're going to have a look, talk about a critical resistance turning into support potentially, and if that sounds good to you, we're going to keep today's video nice and short and sweet, because I freaking love you guys and don't want to waste any more of your time. Oh, also super quick though, we do have a ledger sale going on right now for family packs. As you can see right here, lots of reduction on these prices. If you are interested in snagging up a bunch of ledgers, maybe for your family, now's the opportunity because they are having them at a discount. So link below in the description. Thank you so much. Moving on to the charts. Bitcoin putting in a beautiful monthly close. Oh, sorry guys, this is NASDAQ futures. No, unfortunately, actually, Bitcoin did close out the month of June with a red candle. So bears are celebrating in the streets right now saying, see, I told you so. Well, interestingly enough, though, if we do look at the broader perspective of it, you can see, like Danny Scott pointed out, we actually have Q3 up 44% for Bitcoin, and Q2 has actually been a relatively good quarter for Bitcoin. Actually, Q3 hasn't been that good of a quarter for Bitcoin. So we will see if Bitcoin is going to kind of do the opposite this time. But we have printed our second red dot on the stock to flow model, which a lot of people are basically starting to say is a bunch of baloney, but hey, until we hit that $288,000 Bitcoin, I'm going to still keep looking at this chart. But you can see right here, even in the past, after we have had the halvings, we don't necessarily have that immediate blast off. You can see right here, that was a pretty boring sideways accumulation for about 3 months, and then really didn't start having the major blast off until 5 to 6 months after the halving. So we've only put in our second dot. Could we have 3 more months of boring sideways action? Could be possible. Or maybe we'll just dump to zero. Doubt it, but that's what the bears want, right? Well, having a look right here, the one thing I do want to point out is on the 4-hour chart. Now, this isn't saying much, guys. I'd like to see a nice daily close above this level. But if I zoom in right here, you can actually see that we are back inside of the blue zone. I was afraid that the bottom was going to start acting as resistance. It did for about 2 weeks. And currently we are less than a week, I'm sorry, but we did actually get back into the blue zone. So if we could put in a nice daily candle back inside of this triangle, then that actually is good for Bitcoin. That means that we're back in the original structure. You can see right here, though, we are still having difficulty over here on the Bollinger Bands. We can't seem to get above the basis, which is still sitting at around the $9,327 level. You can see we kind of had some hesitance and started to pull back. Now, keep in mind, this is the smallest we've seen these Bollinger Bands in quite some time. They're getting very, very tight. We are expecting the longer it takes, you can kind of imagine it like a sort of like a spring, just coiling up and winding up tighter and tighter. So the smaller these bands get, the bigger the move, like for example back here when we had this crazy blast off. So I am expecting that, but the first hump to get over is obviously around that $9,300 level. You can see we actually didn't even get up to that on spot charts. We did get above that on CME futures, but the ultimate level short term to be, I think, is where this wick hit right here, which is literally around $9,793. So let's say $9,800. So if Bitcoin could actually break above the short term of 9.3, maybe come back down, bounce around, we might even go up sideways here for a little bit. But ultimately, I need to get above this level right here, the $9,800 level. If we can't get above that level, well, then I guess the ball is technically in the bears' court. Now, Good news, we have still stayed above the blue box territory. As long as we stay above this, it's sort of hard to be bearish because, yeah, this is sort of the point of control where we're either going to fall below back into the territory of going lower, back down to the 7.2, 7 or 6.4 level. And yeah, but I want to point out this interesting resistance I was actually looking at this morning. And you could see right back here in April of last year when Bitcoin was sort of struggling to have that breakout, we just kept hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. And then finally we had that major blast off. Well, actually check this out, okay? And I think this is a very critical line. That's why I have it in here. So right here, you can see it acted as resistance, right? Once we came up here, we started coming down. And right when Bitcoin hit that 7.2K level again down here, it acted as resistance right before the President Xi China pump, where Bitcoin pumped 43%, pretty much in less than 2 days, okay? Then once we fell below it, zooming in right here, you can see it started acting as a bit of resistance, okay? And then right here, when we got below it, it acted as the last major resistance before the massive dump, right? Bitcoin pumped back up. We got back to that peak around 10,000, and it acted as resistance once, twice, and we pulled back again. So ultimately, right now, if we were to pump directly up, that level is sitting almost around the $11,000 level. If we can get above that $11,000 level, that would not only put me in bullish territory, that would put me in super bullish territory. Like, I would be like, all right, like, we're definitely back on trend here, okay? So short term still kind of could do anything, could go up, could go down, could do nothing. Hey, right? There's always those three options. Lots of people like to make that joke. Well, it's either going to go up, it's going to go down, or it's going to go sideways. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it always does. But if you are out there trading, you know, it does help to have a bit of an idea of which way we might be headed. And right here, you can see we are still above. We're still above the resistance over on the logarithmic chart right here on BLX. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this is a fake out? Are we going to look to basically do a reverse of what we did back here on June 30th, where we came down here and then we had that fake out and then we pumped to the top? So could just be a fake out in both directions, trying to shake out a lot of the traders. You let me know what you're doing. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you longing? Are you shorting? Are you sitting in cash? Are you playing in the altcoins? The altcoins are doing quite well. If you haven't checked out my altcoin video, actually a lot of those coins on the list are all doing quite well. But then again, maybe it's a mini alt season, who knows, right? But I do want to talk about for the first time since 2016, we have whales, okay, Bitcoin whales, which we're just gonna say are, you know, accounts that have over 1,000 Bitcoin, actually are seeing a massive increase in the amount of whales, right? So biggest increase since 2016. And interestingly enough, lots of people were like, oh, you know, we have the institutions, some retail's coming in. Retail's not really that interesting. Well, if we look at ZUBR Derivatives Exchange, they actually published a report that said that retail investors are increasing despite the fact that Bitcoin is boring, going sideways, and even falling since around the halving, right? They basically say there's lots of factors of bullishness. Now, in yesterday's video, I went over 12 bullish charts, but just to recap some of them, we have a new all-time high in the number of Bitcoin wallet addresses. We basically have record Bitcoin outflows. We also have an all-time high in numbers that contain less than a Bitcoin. You could see that basically Bitcoin, I told you guys it had a great Q2 performance. And also, you know, they say it's shown remarkable growth of investor participation in the top ranked digital asset being Bitcoin. Moreover, increasing Bitcoin demand from Grayscale investments, right? Grayscale, they're buying up 3 times the amount of Bitcoin that's even coming out from the miners. So these are these things that just take time. And you can see they actually said by the time the next Bitcoin halving happens around 2024, we could see retail potentially eating up around 50% of the supply. We have Grayscale basically eating up 3 times the amount. So things could get pretty crazy. If you're bored right now, I honestly think this is definitely a blessing in disguise. Potentially that last opportunity to really accumulate Bitcoin before the major blast off. Could Bitcoin retest some of these lower levels? Yes. Lots of people are bored right now saying Bitcoin's the most boring thing ever. I'm so tired of it, blah, 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 blah. Well, I hope you're still dollar cost averaging, not financial advice, because when the ship does leave, you're going to wish you're on that boat. So, yeah, that's basically that situation. You guys know nothing is ever financial advice, but talking about a study that came out from UK's Financial Conduct Authority, they say that there's almost 2 million UK residents that currently own crypto. There have been an increase in the number of people that have bought cryptocurrency at this point. The survey estimates that 2.6 million UK citizens have held crypto in 2020 as compared to 1.5 in the previous year. This represents a 3% growth. Additionally, at least 73% of Brits have heard of crypto, in contrast to 42% of 2019. And another crucial finding is that the overt bullishness around the future price of cryptocurrencies in general is actually up, with approximately 41% of those surveyed planning to keep their investments in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for minimally 3 years. So we got the whales hodling, we got the retail hodling, retail up all across the world, Bitcoin fundamentals looking amazing. We just had the halving. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's only a matter of time until the price actually starts to reflect what's going on right now. I'm actually surprised how boring this is, to be honest with you. Like, having a look at this Bitcoin price action, I mean, I haven't seen Bitcoin this boring. I've been doing this for almost 3 years, and I'll be honest with you, this is probably the most boring Bitcoin price action has been in that time. So, is it the calm before the storm? Could be, guys. I mean, like, once Bitcoin gets moving, it usually tends to go pretty damn buck wild. But do want to also mention the fact that we have the Deutsche Börse that has listed an exchange-traded product for Bitcoin. Now, this is not an ETF. This is an ETP. Take what you can get. Beggars can't be choosers, right? So it's called 21 shares, which I'm not sure if that's a play on 21 million Bitcoin, 21 shares. I don't know. Anyway, it's a Swiss-based product, and they said that its Bitcoin ETP has been officially accepted as of Wednesday to the etc. Deutsche Börse electronic trading venue. So I will take that as a small victory for Bitcoin moving forward. And finally, Washington, D.C. lawyers accepting cryptocurrency for their services. What? Well, according to the DC Bar, they said that it is not unethical for lawyers to accept cryptocurrency as long as the fee is reasonable and lawyers can safeguard that virtual property. To quote them, they say cryptocurrency is ultimately simply a relatively new means of transferring economic value. And on that note, guys, not much else to talk about. Bitcoin still being Bitcoin. Definitely anticipating the big move. Could be sooner than later. Could be more boring price action. You let me know what you're doing. All I know is that I am stacking sats. I am DCAing, dollar cost averaging for the long haul. And yeah, I'm not missing out on this boat when it definitely takes off, or this rocket ship, depending on what metaphor you want to use. So yeah, we'll see if we can get above that $9,300 level today. Could be different by the time you're watching. And definitely check out Ledger. Like I said, they are doing lots of deals right now. I do have a link in the description below. Obviously, when you use my link, you are helping to support the channel. But tomorrow, they also have another big deal coming out as well. So check that out today if you haven't. And tomorrow, we'll let you know about that as well. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this, for the most part, almost every single day. Until next time, my name is CryptoZombie. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. You'd be surprised how many times I screw that outro up. Anyway, until next time, you guys rock, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.